I'm really excited about it. I think it's a great opportunity for me. It's something I asked for, and Ben was very receptive. I mean, this was before Pap had even left. I brought it up to the team, and they were, like I said, they were very receptive. And then when Pap left, I kind of figured they'd kind of forget it ever happened and just move on because they wouldn't want to lose both of us from the bullpen. But Ben called me shortly after that and said, we want to try to ride this through. We're going to see if we can go out and get some bullpen arms. And he was able to do that with Bailey and Melanson, so kind of opened the door for me to do this.
Dan, when did you bring that up first, and what is it about returning to the rotation that interests you so much?
I think it was probably November, early November, maybe late October. I can't remember the exact time, but it was kind of just brought up. I mentioned it to my agent. He had some talks with Ben, and they went from there. And then Ben called me to just kind of see what my thoughts were and hear it straight from me. So, and then it just kind of progressed, and I think it was really set in stone when I spoke to Bobby after Bobby was hired. Our first conversation, he was like, "What do you want to do?" And I said, "I want to start or close, and I think I can do either one really well. Whatever you guys think will help the team more." Turns out they think starting's the way to go. So.
What appeals to you most about starting again?
It's a change of scenery. I mean, like I said, I think if I do the same things I did the last 3 years out of the bullpen and can convert that to almost 3 times as many innings, it's a no-brainer. It's going to help the team more. For me, it's a new challenge for me, and I'm excited about it.
What kind of thoughts went through your mind after the decision was made? Okay, you do this, and then we're kind of gearing up to come to spring training.
There's a lot of unknowns. I haven't thrown this many innings, in my whole life. So, but then again, I also think 75 innings out of the bullpen, to me, and guys I've talked to that have made this transition before, it's just as much wear and tear on your arm, on your body, as 200 out of the bullpen in the rotation. So, most guys, I don't see. I don't want an innings limit. If I'm hanging in August, I'll say something to them, but I don't see that happening. I think my delivery is pretty fluid to where the wear and tear on my arm is not going to be a whole lot different than it has been last year.
Daniel, Pat said he spoke to you a lot during the offseason. What advice did he give you, especially having gone through that process a few years ago?
Yeah, he called me to go duck hunting in December, and I couldn't make it. And we just kind of, first time we had talked, and I congratulated him on his deal, and told him we were going to miss him, and our wives are good friends, so we were going to miss his family. And he said, "Is this true? What I hear about you starting?" And I said, "Yeah." I brought it up to him. He goes, "I think that's going to be a really good move for you." He goes, "It didn't work." He said it didn't work for him. His mentality was so geared toward pitching every day, being ready to go every day. That's just the way these guys have been around him. It's the way his brain works. He's got to be doing something all the time. So, and I have a little bit of that in me. I love the reliever lifestyle, getting ready to go every day. So that's going to be the difference, I think, is the mental side of it. Trying to find something to occupy my time those 4 days in between.
I know at the time you probably thought about it a lot, like what didn't work out with starting when you were in the minors. But now that you're going back to that role, have you kind of thought back to that time and maybe why it didn't work out and what will change or what you can change this time?
It wasn't starting that was the problem. Then it was me as a pitcher. My mechanics. If you can find video of me throwing in 07, my mechanics were so messed up. It's not a surprise I couldn't throw strikes on a somewhat regular basis. The next year I made the move to the bullpen, and I made a lot of tweaks to my mechanics to get back to where I was comfortable. And that's the reason the results got better. It had nothing to do with the role change. It just happened to be the role I was in when everything kind of clicked for me. And I think it was a good thing. It got me to the big leagues faster. I think even if had stayed a starter, you pretty much hit every level for a year. I got hot as a reliever, and I was in the big leagues a year later, and pretty much I've learned how to pitch at this level. So I'm not going to face any situations that I haven't faced before. So.
Big part of obviously starting, Daniel, is having a repertoire and moving and changing your looks to batters. every time you face them. Are you pretty confident that it's been a while now that you can go back to realizing what that's like against major league batters?
Yeah, I mean, that's going to be the big adjustment, learning how to really pick apart a scouting report and talk to those guys, our advanced scouts, and working with the catchers a little more, because out of the bullpen it was really, when in doubt, I go with my strength, screw the report, go with a good fastball, a good slider. Now it's going to be about, okay, I'm still pitching my strengths, but I think you're going to see more change-ups, more sinkers. I'm still going to go out and try to get outs and pitch to my strengths, but you'll see more of the 4 pitches that I throw, I think.
What about setting batters up? Are you going to be doing that any differently anymore?
I like to think, even out of the bullpen, you try to get, they're either on base or out 3 pitches or less. If you stick to that as a starter, you're going to be having some quick innings. So that's pretty much summed it up.